Ever wonder how actors perfect accents? Well, it turns out the key is finding a special type of coach, a coach that gets paid to teach people to sound not like themselves. Our guests work with actors in The Undoing, Red Notice, even the Avengers Infinity War. Samara Bay has coached superstars like Gal Gadot, Rachel McAdams, Penelope Cruz. Well, earlier this week, I got a chance to see firsthand what she gets paid to do.
So, in honor of your love of Bridgerton and everybody's love of a British accent, we are going to dive right in.
Okay.
But
would you like to hear my accent thus far? I have one.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Good day, mate.
Is that all you got? You
That's even British.
It was British, and it was a little bit more Cockney than we're going to do today in honor of Bridgerton.
Okay.
There's a lot of different versions of a British accent, but what's lovely about what's called RP, received pronunciation, the Queen's English, is that it's old-timey and beautiful, and it's just like the standard accent, and you feel fancy when you do it.
Okay, let me get into character.
So we're going to use the line, "It is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all." And then we're going to talk about some sounds.
Okay.
So, it is better. Try this out loud.
It is better.
I love it. So what you're doing is those T's, right? Americans, we don't even notice we're doing this. We go ra, ra, better, better. No longer. Now you have to make that T actually crisp and a little, sparkly.
Okay.
Better. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.
It is better.
Yes. Oh, hello. It's like, who am I all of a sudden?
But I feel very Queen-esque.
So even to just say, like, it is better to have loved. Exactly.
It is better to have loved.
Oh my God, hello. And then the other part of British is then we also have these much more closed sort of tunnel sounds, like lost.
Lost.
Exactly. So it is better to have loved and
It is better to have loved and lost
oh, than never
than never
to have loved
to have loved
at all.
at all.
That's stunning. Those are the basic sounds that
I
I'm
love
gonna
that
talk
you
about.
get paid to do this.
You know? Someone's got to do it.
Samara joins us from Los Angeles, California. It is better to have...
Actually, you retained it.
You know what? You gave me a freebie, and I'm very grateful for that free lesson. Did you stumble into this awesome job? I need the backstory here.
Yes. Most of us, there's not that many of us dialect coaches, but most of us have an acting background with maybe a little bit of interest in linguistics and maybe an English degree in my case. But I decided when I was like 10 that I wanted to be a Shakespearean actress. And this is eventually what that became.
Now, you told me so much of this is really being able to have fun. That's what you said. You have to have fun with it. You can't take yourself too seriously. But you've worked with actors on very heavy and serious scripts. So how do you balance the out of body with that meaty role of Shakespeare?
Absolutely. The answer is that there's a little bit of time and a little bit of space so that we can go from the silly to the serious. There is two ways that dialect coaching, there's like two shapes that it takes. One is one-on-one, right? We did a tiny bit of that. In a one-on-one safe space, obviously, even if we're working with heavy text, there is a sense of, well, let's just figure out what these sounds feel like in your mouth. Let's have a little, fun and a little unafraid of feeling silly, which is part of the problem, right? It's quite humbling to work on an accent. You're going to be bad before you're good, and that's okay. Part of my job as a coach, any job, anyone who coaches, is like, can we create a sort of judgment-free zone?
Right.
And then the other shape that dialect coaching takes is on set. And then I'm listening in with my earbuds in between every take, and that can be very serious.
So we said this show is, I can't believe I get paid for this. When you told family members, or even when you cash a check, a big one, when you work with a Gal Gadot, are you stunned that you do this for a living?
Yes. Short answer, yes. Look at that. That was a job that we did. Red Notice. It was
Yeah.
before the vaccines, and it was mid-pandemic. And Dwayne the Rock Johnson is in the movie. Obviously, he was producing it as well, and he wanted to make sure that we could do it safely. So, oh my gosh, we were like the first big American movie back up and running.
Are you a tough coach? Are you a tough dialect coach?
Um, I am an honest dialect.
Oh, that
coach,
means tough. Okay.
but, but loving.
But loving.
Because you don't want to scare somebody into trying to give you the right version, because
Right.
often that means that we stop playing.
So training wise, how many hours did you have to put in and how much training did you have to acquire to get to this status?
Well, I did it on the job. The first work I started to get as a dialect coach, I was still acting. I was in New York. It's like 10 or 15 years ago. And I had some mentors who were dialect coaches. I was intrigued by what they did. I shadowed a little bit on Broadway. And then they started throwing me clients. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I learned, because what I had was a true respect for actors.
Wow.
And a true understanding of the International Phonetic Alphabet, which is this quite meaty, dense, looks like Greek letters, way of decoding every accent.
So are you able to listen to someone's voice and tell the region, for example, of the United States they're from or from another country?
Yes and no. If it's something I've worked on previously and there's some interesting sounds that I recognize,
Right.
yes. But I think it's a bit of a different skill to be able to say, like, oh, I can tell what neighborhood you're from,
Right.
than it is to actually coach somebody.
Because you've studied the neighborhood, so thus you know it. Is it though? Do you have to have an ear for this? Is it like people who, for example, learn to play the piano by ear? Do you think you have a special ear?
I'm going to give you a very honest answer. I was worried when I first started out that there was something magical that you had to have or not have.
Right.
And what I have discovered over time is you get better. And the more that you really deeply understand the International Phonetic Alphabet, which if anybody reads music,
Yeah.
it's like that. Like, it's hard to learn and then it decodes music. So similarly, there's a icky period where you're maybe in school learning the International Phonetic Alphabet and all these symbols, and it's overwhelming and looks like math. And then you're like,
Wow.
oh, wait, I can actually tell down to the tiniest vowel or consonant what the person I'm listening to is doing.
Fascinating. Are you paid by the hour or by like the movie? How does that work? Because we're saying you get paid for it.
It's hourly if it's one-on-one, it's daily on some projects, or it's weekly on others.
So I owe you for the half hour you gave me?
Thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars. And I got to try one more time. All right, walk me through, Coach. What is it? You get paid to do this. It is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
Okay, 2 notes. It's much more open, much more open. You went closed, right? This is the hard part, right?
Okay.
Right? Loved and then lost.
Okay.
And the other note,
Uh-huh.
breathe. Breathe and be a person. What are you saying? What's the meaning of what you're saying? Do you believe it?
I believe I get paid to do this. And that's me asking the questions, not you. And on that note, I'm going to keep doing what I get paid to do. Thank you, Samara. Awesome meeting you. You're so effervescent. Congratulations on the success, finding your passion here.
Thank you so much. You're such a delight.